Hello viewers, it's Super GT here. Welcome to the top 10 tracks in Forza. So, I'm going to go through my favourite tracks in the Forza series, not including Forza 1. I never played it, so I can't judge the tracks in that game. So if the tracks in that game were amazing, well, that's a shame because I can't judge them, never played them. So, we're going to go from Forza 2 up to Forza 6 on the Xbox One. And we are going to kick off, of course, with number 10, and I have gone with Watkins Glen International in the United States. This is a new track for Forza, so its only appearance is in Forza 6. Hopefully they keep it for Forza 7 and onwards. I don't see any reason why they should remove it. So yeah, this track, I really do enjoy this track. It's a very fast and flowing circuit. Not very many slow corners on this track at all. Maybe in the final sector there's a couple of slow corners. Even the chicane on this main straight here is quite a fast chicane, although normally you don't run that chicane. I wasn't actually meant to run that chicane. Well, sometimes, well, it depends on obviously on the series using the track. Some series will use it, some won't. But that chicane there breaks up that straight quite a bit, and coming through a long right-hander into a long left-hander as we go downhill, coming into turn 6 here. Turn 7 is the next turn coming up, and that's probably one of the hardest corners, to get right in the game. This corner here. So you're going to brake on the 200 meters board on the way in, and the car just seems to want to understeer so much and then oversteer on the exit as soon as you touch that throttle pedal. Very, very tough corner to get right. Very challenging corner. As we come up into the turn 8, this one is quite a tricky one to get right. There's a nasty curb on the inside which you don't want to touch, and that's actually the theme of all of the curbs around this final section. You don't really want to touch the curbs on the inside because they can unsettle your car quite a lot. You don't want to touch them at all. So coming into the penultimate corner, we've got a 90-degree left here, which is followed by the final turn, a 90-degree right onto the main straight once again. As you can see, they're going over the curb, coming through the final 90-degree right hand onto the main straight, go into the wall there. You've got to push that wall as much as you can as we cross the line and go to number 9. I'm going to go with Tsukuba in Japan. This track has featured in Forza 1, 2, 3 and 4. Did make a reappearance on the Xbox One in Forza 5 or in Forza 6. This track is one of my favourite ones. I have very good memories of playing this track in the career mode in Forza 2. Done a lot of laps around here. I remember there was an endurance race around this track as well. I used to love this track. I used to love playing this track. It was a good it was a very different track because it was very short. That's the main thing about it. Only 2 kilometres long, 2.7 miles long, and the longest straight, which we're going to come up to in a moment, is only about 400 metres long, so not very long at all. So you can do quite a lot of laps around here as I go into this hairpin in the Corvette. So this is the longest straight on the track, going into the final corner on the circuit. This track was just a very good one. I have very good memories of this one. Commonly used by a lot of Japanese tuning companies as sort of like a proving ground, Japanese Nürburgring if you like. So through the final turn over the line, that is my number 9. Number 8 is the Nordschleife in Germany. It wouldn't be a Forza game if it didn't have the Nordschleife. It has featured in all 6 Forza games so far, or Forza Motorsport games so far. 12.9 miles long, 20.8 kilometres. That's without the Grand Prix circuit add-on. Just the Nordschleife circuit we're talking about here. I've had so many good races around here. I'd like to think that if I went there in real life I would know it off by heart. Obviously it's not exactly the same as it is in real life. I know they laser scanned it, but there's no substitute for actually going there. And one day I would love to go here. It's a very, very challenging circuit to get right, of course, because of how long it is. But my favourite section is probably the section just after the carousel. You've got a very, very twisty flowing section. It's twisty but it's fast. That is the important part of it. And this is the carousel here. Obviously one of the most iconic parts of the circuit. Obviously you've got to get yourself down into that banking to maximise your speed through there. A very challenging circuit. It wouldn't be a Forza game without it. Now we move on to Number 7, Sebring International Raceway, as we see here in Forza 4. This track has featured in all of the games apart from the first one, so from Forza 2 onwards. It's a classic circuit. It's a very good racing circuit, I think. Quite a low grip surface as we go onto this runway. It's built on an old runway, the main straight and the back straight. Very noticeable different levels of grip, especially through the final corner. It's a very challenging circuit to get right. You've got a couple of complexes through this track, like this one here. You've got a couple of corners which lead onto each other, and you have to sort of get them all right to get a good lap around here. Very challenging circuit to get right. It's quite a long lap as well, just over 6 kilometres long. I raced it recently in AOR League, and in that league I found it extremely hard to get right, especially because of the curves in Forza 6. Very, very hard, very bumpy because of the old surface, and very challenging, very hard to get right. As I drive the 4GT down the back straight, a very long back straight here, going into the final turn. This final turn, wow, I have good memories of this turn. I remember watching Forza TV online and watching the absolute pros at this game go around that corner like they're on rails, but I've just found it so hard to get around that corner perfectly, and I still do to this day. It's such a hard corner to get right. As I go over the line, we go to number 6 for Jimmy Kaido. This is going to be my number 6. It's obviously a fictional circuit, but based off of real life mountain roads in Japan for toge and drifting. I don't know if I pronounced that right, toge or touge. Please correct me in the comments if I'm saying that wrong. Toge, I think, is how it's said. But anyway, a very cool circuit. It's been in Forza 1, 3 and 4. You're seeing it here in Forza 3. And as I say, it's a fictional circuit, but based off of real life roads. So even though I wasn't a drifter, this was kind of a drifter circuit. Even though I wasn't a drifter, I still love racing around here. I still love setting fast times. There was a good challenge to try and set a really fast lap around here. I remember in R2 class back in Forza 3 in the Dyson Mazda, trying to set a clean lap around here is an absolute challenge. Because it doesn't flow like a normal racing circuit, it makes it very hard to get right. So the first sort of half of the lap is mainly uphill, and then the second half of the lap, as you're seeing here, is very quick downhill sections, and it sort of opens up as you get towards the very end of the lap. The speeds get a lot higher as we enter the back to the main straight, which isn't very long. So that's going to be my number 6, a very cool track that. Wish they would bring it back. Here we go to number 5, New York Circuit. I love this circuit. It's in Forza 1, 2 and 3. Didn't appear in 4 onwards. A very challenging circuit to get absolute best lap times, because you really have to be very brave through these chicanes. So a very fast circuit with chicanes on each straight, which you really have to push very hard if you want to maximise your speed. The thing I like about this circuit is that it's very simple. It's pretty much just 3 straights with a couple of tyres laid out on it, and you've got to go around them like here. Just it's so simple. The idea of it is very simple, but that's what makes it so good. I just wish this kind of track would come back, and I see no reason why they couldn't do it. I know there's a couple of less fictional tracks in Forza 6, but I'd love to see some of them come back. So this is like the roundabout section, the final turn, as we get a good exit here onto the main straight, which is slightly curved actually. And this chicane here can be taken at flat out speeds, as you can see, pretty much straight. But the other chicanes, especially this first one coming up, you have to be very brave around there. As we move on to number 4, Maple Valley, another fictional circuit which appeared in Forza 1, 2, 3 and 4. Didn't make a reappearance in the Xbox One games, unfortunately. I'd love to see this one come back. I love racing around here. Now the very noticeable thing about this circuit, which is pretty much unique to this track, is that it can be run both directions, and it is equally as good in both directions. So this is the way I used to remember running it in Forza 4 online, I'm pretty sure. Or Forza 3 online, I think we run it this way, and Forza 4 was the other way round. But either way, both of the directions that you go around the circuit were brilliant. I used to love both combinations of this track. It's a fast circuit, fast flowing circuit, not many slow corners around here. We come through about halfway around the lap now in the Saline S7, or Saline S7, sorry, getting my pronunciation wrong. So uphill, a very long right-hander here, as we go uphill, very steep uphill. The car goes very light as you reach the top of that hill, and then this section here is very challenging to get right. Just like some of the other circuits, having very tricky curbs up here. Many times I've hit those curbs there and rolled over because I've been pushing too much. You've got to be brave around this one, and this final turn, wow, you've got to be very committed around here to save as much time as possible. Wasn't quite brave enough to go flat out in this car. I don't think I would have made it. So that's number 4. We move on to number 3. Top 3 now. Top 3 tracks in Forza for me. Road Atlanta is number 3. This is just a great original Forza circuit. It's appeared in all 6 games so far, and you're seeing it here in Forza number 2. Wow, this game came out a long time ago, nearly 10 years ago. The 4 kilometre circuit, sorry I can't get that word out, 2.5 miles long, Brazelton, Georgia in the United States. I go a little bit wider in the Saline S7 once again. Saline S7, I keep saying it wrong. So yeah, this section here, wow, the S is going into the left-hander. You've got to be so committed to get that right as we cut ahead a little bit. And these 2 corners here, I love the camber around here. This one here especially just hooks you round when you get on that apex. And this one here, you got to get this one dead right to get a good run up this straight. I'm going to go into the chase cam here because I just realised that the camera angles, the replay camera angles in Forza 2 are absolutely awful. So I'm going to go back into the chase cam, the long straight here, which obviously a very good overtaking opportunity if you can get alongside into the chicane here. So hitting the apex nicely on the left and on the right. The car normally goes light on the exit there. As we go uphill and then back down again into the final turn, this one requires a lot of commitment. I go a little bit too committed to smash into the wall, and that is the challenge of that final turn. So a very good challenging circuit. Number 2, Suzuka in Japan. Wow, this is an amazing circuit, and I wish they would bring this one back. They really need to bring this one back. We need to come up with some sort of bring back Suzuka movement to turn 10 to bring this one back, because this was one of the best tracks in Forza. It appeared in 2, 3 and 4. You're seeing it here in Forza 3. I'm driving I can't say that properly. I'm driving the Honda NSX GT, or the RGT I believe it's called. One of the very best cars in the game. I think it's a unicorn car. Very grippy car. Go into the Degner corners. Wow, I love these corners. That first one you can go very quickly round. The second one, got to hook up that apex to get a good run out into the hairpin. Going around the right hand kink into the hairpin. That is a very good overtaking opportunity, but a lot of times you see a lot of carnage in the online modes at that corner there. I just remember a lot of carnage going on at that hairpin a lot of the time. So many legendary corners around here. We've got that hairpin, then we move into the spoon curve at the back end of the circuit, and a very noticeable thing about the circuit is that it is a crossover. So it doesn't have any predominant one-sided corners. So it doesn't have all left-handers or all right-handers. It sort of has a very vast mix of both, especially around the first sector. Coming into the final chicane, another very good overtaking opportunity on this circuit. There are quite a few. The first sector doesn't have many, but the second sector has a lot more overtaking opportunities. And then through the final curve, over the main straight. So before we go to number 1, a couple of special mentions. So Sedona Raceway Park. I love this track. It's obviously another fictional circuit, but one I really liked. Camino Viejo, again, appeared in Forza 3, a really good circuit. I really like that one. Wish they would bring that back. Laguna Seca, a classic in Forza, and it always will be. a love or hate track really, but I love it. So Sidewinder Proving Grounds. Who remembers these circuits? Look at that beast. That is an absolute monster of a circuit. But anyway, we're going to move on to number 1, the moment we have been waiting for, and it's Mugello. This is my number 1 circuit in the Forza series. I absolutely adore this circuit. It's such a good track. And what we're going to do here, rather than cut into the replay camera, we're going to just run in the chase cam for a full lap in the Ferrari F40. So this circuit, what can I say? It is one of the best. Well, it is my favourite circuit in the whole Forza series. I really hope they bring this one back for Forza 7. The thing I love about it is that it has an amazing flow to it. It never seems to die down at all. Apart from the main straight, that's the only time you can have a breather. But apart from that, you go around a corner, you've got another corner upon you almost straight away. And a lot of the turns here, if you have a right-hander, it's followed by a left almost always, and if you're going into a left, it's almost always followed by a right. And it's these sequence of corners means that you have to get one right to get the next one right. So you have to be very careful about the way you drive around here. You can't go committing into one corner because it might affect you around the next one. So you have to be very wary about your lines around this circuit. And that's the one thing I love about it. It really is a good driver's circuit, I think. Good overtaking opportunities as well. A very fast flowing circuit, one which most people would love to drive. There's no really slow corners around this track. Even this chicane here is probably one of the slowest corners, but even still it's quite a fast chicane, not too slow. So yeah, this is going to wrap up this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. So that they can bring back Mugello and Suzuka, 2 of the best circuits. I think in most people's opinion are 2 of the best circuits, especially Suzuka. I always hear that track mentioned a lot. People want to bring that one back, but for me Mugello is the number 1, and hopefully they can bring it back for Forza 7. Another mention actually is Rio. I actually quite like the new Rio circuit in Forza 6. I think they made a good job of that. Bernese Alps as well from Forza 4 is a good circuit. Prague I wasn't so keen on, but you know, it's not too bad. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up here, guys. Let me know your thoughts on my top 10, and let me know your top 10, or you know, just top 3 or top 1 even. Just let me know your best tracks, even your worst tracks. Tell me your worst tracks as well. They're quite interesting to hear what you think are the worst circuits as well. So that's going to be it. Thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe if you want to see more Forza content. Hit the like button if you did like this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.